Hello, can you hear me? Is that on? Well, where's our AV person when we need them?
Now try.
Now? Whoa, she told me I shouldn't get too close. Well, good evening. It is 7:09 p.m. and I'd like to welcome you to, I think it's our 174th annual meeting. Did I get it right? Oh, see, you can. So welcome, and thank you all for coming, some from very close, some from further away. My name is Robert Carr. I'm the current president of the board of the Swedenborg Foundation. I came from pretty far away. I live in San Francisco. I flew out on Wednesday, and I had the daytime free a little bit yesterday and today, so I've been experiencing this part of the Philadelphia area at its best. I got to cycle on the Pennypack Trail yesterday and on the Schuylkill River Trail today, all the way up the Valley Forge, so beautiful country here. Our purpose here tonight is to have our business meeting for the Swedenborg Foundation. It'll last 20 or 25 minutes, and then right about 7:30, we've got the headliner event of the evening, a wonderful talk by Curtis Childs. I want to first welcome you by acknowledging that the work that we do at the foundation depends on the efforts of many different people, and I just want to thank them all by categories. Of course, there's our staff members, about 21 of them, who labor tremendously hard, but also with love and with a spirit of teamwork with each other. And we've got 16, well, currently 15 of us on the board. In a half an hour, there'll be 16 of us again, that again are drawn to contribute to this foundation out of a spirit of love and wanting to support our mission of ensuring that the world has rich and accurate and informed and contemporary access to the message of Swedenborg. And lastly, I want to thank the membership of the foundation who give in a variety of ways, including financially, and we couldn't do what we do without you, so thank you all. All of you who are members will have received, I think in March, a written invitation from us. And on that invitation materials, there's a QR code, but also, if I manage to advance the slide, which I just did, you can use this QR code to bring up our annual report for the calendar year of 2023. I would encourage you to read the materials in there. It's about a 20-page report. It's got an excellent summary of all of our different activities, but also, I think, a lot of very accurate numbers when it comes to our fiduciary responsibility to manage the foundation in a safe and healthy fashion. The spirit of the last few years in the foundation, I've been on the board 3 years now, strikes me as a spirit of continuity, building on the past, but making sure that we've got a lot of harmonious teamwork across all the staff and all of the board. So there's been very little turnover in either the staff or the board. Last year there was 0 turnover in the board. This year we're having 3 board members leave, 2 of them having fulfilled quite long terms. And real continuity in our strategy and the way that we're pursuing achieving our mission. As you probably know, our efforts fall into several major categories. At the simplest level, I think many of us think of the foundation as a publishing organization. That's our roots. That's how we got started. And out of those 174 years, what would you say, maybe 160 of them or so, maybe 155, depending on how you count, we're very much focused on print media as the way that we could promulgate Swedenborg's writings. Of course, by 15 or 20 years ago, the internet and the web were really booming, and that started opening up new avenues. I don't think in the year 2000 any of us would have foreseen quite what avenues would have been in front of us. But by 2012, 2014, we all were rather delighted to see that the ability of the internet to stream video and to help people find video content opened up a major new channel that, of course, became Off the Left Eye and turned out to be a fabulous way for us to get the message out. In 2023, we had over 8 million views of our video content just on the YouTube site itself, which is our major video viewing, but not our only channel for video viewing. So that was really thrilling to, I think, have the foundation find that besides print media, we can have a major new area of endeavor, and we've pursued it to the max thanks to Curtis and all of the very creative folks in the foundation that work with them and support getting those videos out. But the world around us does not stand still, and my sense is that we probably have so think of the internet-based video distribution as a second major way after print publishing. I think that we have a third major way opening up that I'm pretty excited by. We can't quite demo it yet, but I'll mention it. The annual report talks about it. If you talk to people in our staff, you'll hear more about it. But it's the potential of using this arcane and scary term, artificial intelligence, or a new kind of computer technology, as a new means of providing great accessibility to Swedenborg's writings to many millions of people. And my background is computer science. I got 2 degrees from Stanford in the field back in the late 70s. Back when AI was the hot thing in the early 80s for very different reasons from today. But when I look at the current AI boom, if there's one thing that it's superb at, is it's accessing huge troves of textual information, or visual information, but in our case, textual information, like the entire World Wide Web, and synthesizing it down so that it can then kind of parrot back beautifully articulate summaries and syntheses in response to somebody who's typing in questions in a dialogue or Socratic fashion. Well, Swedenborg didn't write quite as much as the entire content of the World Wide Web, but he did his best, and he tried to. And he did write, you know, my set of green volumes, is that what they're called? My set of Swedenborg books spans about this much of very dense, very small typeface bookshelf space. That's a challenge for any newcomer to come to and say, how do I even know which book to pick up? How do I know where to start? This topic seems to be addressed in 7 different books. How do I begin to get my head around it? Well, one way, of course, is to go to Bryn Athyn College, but not everybody can do that. So what I see the foundation staff doing, and Chris Dunn, our VP of Marketing and AI Technology, is leading the way on this, is I see them using the breakthroughs of the last couple years in prototype form now, soon over the next year or so, starting to make it available to the public, a tool where you can ask this software, this AI software that we'll make available, to synthesize Swedenborg. And the samples that I've seen are stunning for their clarity and their precision and their accuracy. So I'm very excited about that. So big picture, you know, I'm here to support our mission, but when I step back and look at how have we been doing that, well, it's print publishing, then it's video publishing, and now it's kind of an expert technology that can synthesize in response to unique questions and needs of whomever's asking them. That's a lot of work to do, and we only have 21 people doing it, but they are doing an amazing job, and let me just touch on a few of the topic areas. In publishing last year, one of the main things that the group did, and this was the board and the publishing staff working like this, is they stepped back and they said, how can we improve our processes around how we decide what we're going to publish, when, and how do we ensure the quality of our publications. And the committee worked together through many months and then brought very well-considered proposals to the board, which the board quickly approved last fall, and they're now operating underneath. Thank you, Wendy Klosterman and the External Affairs Committee and the publishing team for the work on that. Something I'm very excited by is that the publishing group is getting ready for a whole new era of audiobook production. Audiobooks are booming because it's a wonderful way for people to consume written content, so you can go for a long walk and listen very deeply to whatever the writings are. So why not put a new version of Heaven and Hell and CE version out in audiobook as our first one, and that's exactly what they'll be doing. Publishing is also starting a new era where when they're publishing a book that's not by Swedenborg, it's going to be typically kind of an expert book in a topic area of great current interest that then can be tied back into Swedenborg. So it's a way to kind of like make Swedenborg relevant to important topic areas. And the first book in that kind of venue is coming out later this year. It's called Surviving Suicidal Ideation. So it's kind of a psychology counseling. And having heard what some of the content is there, I'm very excited about seeing that here in just another few months. For many of us, our favorite thing in the publishing area is the ongoing work for the New Century Edition. And that's continuing apace. And in fact, last year we published 2 more volumes of Secrets of Heaven, volumes 5 and 6. And this year there'll be 2 more volumes, volumes 7 and 8. In all, last year we published 5 main volumes, and this year we'll be publishing, let me count them up, looks like 5 again. My favorite book last year was the smallest one. It's a perpetual calendar. It came out in the fall. I think it quickly became perhaps our best seller. Is that fair to say, Chelsea? I bought 1, then I bought 2, and then I bought 20 because I managed to convince all my church members in San Francisco to pay them for to buy them. I also gave them to a lot of them. But I love it because it makes his writings absolutely so accessible. It's so easy to just dip in and say, well, I didn't read yesterday, but today I'll read yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And every month is organized by a major topic area. It makes for a great gift. Of course, our other major area is what I call the video programming, or we call it programming, and that's the Off the Left Eye channel. Their efforts are marked by constant innovation. What I think we all see is when we just click through to a video, we just see the video, and it's fantastic and it's on topic. But the game in providing video content like this isn't to just produce some. The trick is you want to get lots of people to view them. And I mentioned we had over 8 million views last year on YouTube. And to do that takes a lot of technical expertise. You have to know how to format and kind of code up the videos so that they'll place high in search rankings, so that they'll be suggested to people when they're searching on certain terms and the like. And between the Off the Left Eye programming team and then also the work by Chris Dunn in marketing, doing our digital marketing work, they do great work on getting a lot of views, and they're really building up having repeat viewers coming back again and again. On the topic of constant innovation, just a small example is that in any field of human endeavor, including online videos, as the years go by, there's kind of new ways of doing things, new fashions. Audiences are used to new formats. So last year they added a new format that's working well called Curtis Reacts, where Curtis can pick a hot topic as evinced by a video that got a lot of views by somebody else, and he can be providing his commentary on that topic and bringing Swedenborg into that context. Again, finding ways to meet people on their own terms to introduce them to Swedenborg's writings and theology. In the digital marketing area, a huge effort that took well over a year reached fruition early this year, which was the launching of an all-new website to streamline all of our various offerings on the website and make them more accessible than ever before. Let me touch on finances, which are a really important area, one that I've got a lot of experience at, having run a lot of businesses. Just to give you a feeling, our total annual budget is almost $3 million, $2.9 million and change. That's what we spend to support all of our activities. Most of that money goes towards supporting the 21 staff that work for us in various capacities. Not all those staff are full-time, but many of them are. The annual report has a lot of details, pie charts that break out the spending by different areas, but I'll summarize one important one for you, that whenever you're looking at any nonprofit, you always want to make sure that it's an efficient nonprofit, that it's not spending half or two-thirds of its money on overhead and administration, et cetera. And we are very efficient. We spend only 12% of our expenditures last year on fundraising and only 18% on administration. We have a committee that we call Internal Affairs. It focuses on managing our finances, also our real estate, also our HR, human resources kind of policies and procedures. And over the in 2023, one of their major projects came to fruition with a lot of support from the staff and Carl Godlove, our CEO, when we sold our office building. It was really a beautiful old home that had been converted into offices, located in Westchester. It had become quite an inefficient property for us. Through the pandemic and after the pandemic, we were not using it very much. It was not a very good facility for storing materials. The basement was kind of moldy, et cetera. So we sold it off early last year, moved the money into our endowment where it can earn us income, and we cut our expenditures by almost $50,000 a year, just the costs of maintaining that house and property. Our Internal Affairs Committee is very much focused on supporting our mission, but also ensuring our long-term health financially. We have an endowment fund that over the last 10 years has ranged in value between $15 million and $20 million, depending on the year and depending on how the market's been doing. And the Internal Affairs Committee and the board are the last year and going forward are paying very close attention to our endowment fund and our expenditures. Lastly, I want to thank Tim Bilger and his staff for their great work on the fundraising front. They do a fabulous job. Their focus is on really bringing in as many members and donors as possible, and doing so in a variety of creative ways, and they've had good success on doing that. Many more people have been coming in the last 15 minutes. Apparently, a lot of people want to see Curtis, which is great. So do I. So all of you who have come in, let me just reintroduce myself. My name's Robert Carr. I'm the president of the Swedenborg Foundation. You have stepped into the middle of our annual business meeting. You're very welcome. It will not last that much longer, so we'll have Curtis up here quite soon. And the Swedenborg Foundation is a nonprofit foundation that exists to support the promulgation of Swedenborg's writings and theology. And the Swedenborg Foundation is the entity that does the Off the Left Eye channel. It's the entity that provides the financing support, the staff, and Curtis is our VP of Programming and our Chief Visionary Officer. I'll be introducing him in a moment. So that's what the Swedenborg Foundation is. When we were organizing our annual meeting for this year, we thought what better talk and topic to have right after it than to have Curtis do a presentation. So thank you for joining us. At this point, that concludes my summary of our annual report. Once again, you can find it online through that QR code. And I'd now like to turn to the formal part of our business meeting, which is rather simple. It's the election of a slate of some new board members. We have 3 new board members joining us, and they are replacing 3 board members that are leaving us. And then we have 3 board members who are current board members who are standing for re-election. So 3 re-electing board members, 3 new ones, and the 3 new ones are replacing 3 departing ones. And I want to first thank the 3 departing board members. I don't think any of them are here. Actually, one of them is. I know who she is. We had a nice hug and talk half hour ago. And that is Kay Lermetti, who served on our board quite a long time and played a particularly strong role in really in the area of fundraising and development activities. So we want to thank Kay very much for her contributions and her efforts. Is Sony Werner here? No, okay. So Sony left us last fall, so she's got an unexpired term that we're going to fill tonight. I want to thank her. She also served on the board a long time, and in fact, she served her last 3 or 4 years as the president of the board of the foundation. So I'm filling her rather large shoes, a hard person to follow, but she was the president of the board until a year ago at this meeting. And so I want to thank Sony for her wonderful contributions. And lastly, Micah Sadi, who's not with us tonight, but I want to thank him as well. Okay, first I'll read the names of the 3 board members who are standing for re-election. The first is Stephanie Rose. Stephanie, are you here? There she is. Stephanie's waving her hand at the back. Look at that smile. That's Stephanie standing for re-election. I know that Eli is here. Eli, where are you? Right in the middle, Eli Eccles. And then thirdly, Wendy Klosterman right here. Thank you, Wendy. All 3 of them, their willingness to continue on the board means a whole lot to me and the staff and all the board members, because they've built up a lot of expertise and have been contributing at a very high level. Wendy was the chair of our External Affairs Committee over publishing and programming the last few years. Eli is the chair of our Governance Committee. And Stephanie will likely be the chair of our new development committee we're forming on Sunday. We're spinning a committee off to be standalone again. So major contributions by all 3. The 3 new candidates to become new board members, the first is not with us tonight. I'm pretty sure not. Tony Raffa. Tony? Not here. His biographies and the materials that were sent out to you, but I spoke on the phone over recent weeks with Tony, and the next 2, and all 3 are fabulous additions to our board. Our nominating committee did an especially good job. So that's Tony Raffa. The second is Jonathan Carr. Jonathan, right over there. And the third is Reverend Glenn Frazier, or Mac Frazier as he goes. And there's Mac right there. Our voting process is delightfully low technology still. Next year, we might institute electronic voting for remote members who can't attend. But this year, the voting technology is the same as it has been perhaps for 74 years, which is holding hands up, not yet, but soon. The other thing is voting by proxies. So we have 2 of our current board members who have been designated our tellers. And would they please stand? Where are our tellers? Chris Barber and and Burke and Junga. So is this when I say the magic words, gentlemen?
Well, you do the regular vote.
I do the regular, and then okay. So, but they will conduct 2 independent countings of hands that are held high. If you are not a member of the foundation, or if you are a member of the foundation but you submitted your proxy, please do not vote. But all of those here who are members of the foundation, could I see if you hold your hand high if you approve the slate of the 6 nominees for our board members, please. And keep holding your hand high while our fast tellers do their work.
One of us can't count. Maybe you should take a minute break and then put them up again. Sorry about that.
This is why we do it. All right, hands back up, keep them up, please. Thank you.
Maybe one of them didn't look behind and see me.
Still well short of what he had.
Yeah. Well, we could always pick the lower number and then see if it beats how many people vote no. Okay, hands can go down. Thank you very much. Do the tellers have a report?
We do. We're adding the local vote to the proxy vote to get the total vote.
Okay, may I?
Yeah.
Okay, I have a report.
Okay, what is your report,
Thank you.
dear teller?
Thank you. Of the ballots sent to the membership, 16 valid ballots were returned. Having a quorum, we counted a total of 47 votes in favor. This includes the ballots. So the motion to accept the slate of nominees to the board of the Swedenborg Foundation, seeing as there are no nays, carries.
Yay. Oops. And that's the slide I should have put up when I was introducing the board members, so thank you for your patience. That concludes our annual business meeting. So for those of you who came in the last 10 minutes, once again, Robert Carr, the president of the board of directors of the Swedenborg Foundation, the nonprofit entity that supports the Off the Left Eye channel. And I now have the pleasure of introducing Curtis Childs. He is the VP of Programming and our Chief Visionary Officer for the foundation. But I think it's fair to say he's perhaps the man who needs no introduction, I hope, if you came here to hear him speak. I did look at his bio on our website, and I found a sentence that I'd like to share rather than read more of a traditional biography. His bio says, Curtis is happiest when he can use Swedenborg's concepts to help someone solve something they used to think was unsolvable. And I've had the delight of getting to know Curtis over the last several years, and I can say that's the Curtis I know, and he's a happy man indeed, because he does this quite often. So, Curtis, you must be around here someplace. Please.
Can you keep clapping for like 4 minutes? Thank you. So I'm just going to flip the presentation. Please, thank you.